From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your Evening Update.
Dennis's Heating and Air Conditioning is Northern California's premier heating and air conditioning contractor. From residential housing, large commercial projects, installation to repair, sheet metal fabrication, and everything in between, we are your go-to heating and air conditioning specialist.
Well, I don't think many people complain about those temperatures that we've seen over the last few days, and I don't think many people are going to be complaining about the temperatures we'll see over the weekend. You know, we're going to be looking at highs most likely below normal for the weekend and even into early next week. Now, there are still going to be a few chances here and there for a few mountain thunderstorms, few and far between, but for the most part, the chances are getting slimmer in the higher elevations. But we'd have a warming trend for next week, so yeah, it's not going to last forever with these below normal temperatures. In fact, some of the high temperatures we did see this afternoon, look at the temperatures right here. So Redding saw a high of 94. You head south, Red Bluff 92. You see how it gets cooler as you head down south into Chico with 88. I mean, it was actually warmer in Weaverville and Hayfork than it was in Chico. And that's all because of the Delta breeze. I want to tell you about the Delta breeze here for a second. Now, in the valley is where you have that big kind of dome of heat. It's where things are really hot. And then typically along the coast here, we have a nice marine layer in the fog. Now you can see it kind of burned off, but earlier this morning, there was some fog along the coast. So what happens is this: you've got the heat in the valley, you've got the cold air along the coast. You have this nice little opening. See all the mountains here? That kind of prevents that ocean air from moving in. However, we have this nice little opening right here. So what happens is the cooler air with that marine air, it filters through the delta, and then we see a south wind. That south wind takes that cooler air and drives it up into the valley. But think of it like an ice cube. It starts off like a nice, big, healthy ice cube, and these areas that are really close to that source are nice and cool. But as that ice cube progresses northward, what happens is it melts, and the temperatures increase as a result. So here you can see where you have the source of that cooler air, temperatures are in the 60s, right? Then you start heading inland, and yes, it's cool, about 80 degrees. But look what happens as you head northward. You see how just progressively these temperatures are getting warmer and warmer. So Chico 88, Red Bluff 90, and Redding 93. And again, it's all because we're kind of farther away from that source of cooler air, which is why Redding typically isn't as cool or isn't as cool as Chico would be, for example, because Chico is closer to that source of cooler air. It's kind of interesting when you kind of take a look at the overall perspective of things and why things happen the way they do. Now, we take a look at the temperature trend, and you can see temperatures about 100 degrees. That's the normal high for this time of the year. 99, as a matter of fact, for Redding. But we're dropping below that. That's what we have for Saturday. Look at Sunday, 92 degrees. We're getting well below normal, but then we're back up. See how the temperature is climbing back up as we go towards the middle and latter part of next week. All right, so here's your planner for the valley for your Saturday. Temperatures, again, kind of that Delta breeze effect, right? 92 for Chico, 94 for Red Bluff, and Redding a high of about 95 degrees. We take you off to the mountains, and I don't have any thunderstorms in the mountains here for tomorrow. I mean, there may be a stray shower, maybe an isolated thunderstorm here or there, but overall, it's going to be fairly dry. It shouldn't really have much of an impact for any of your outdoor plans that you may have if you're going for a hike, for example. But the big dome of heat that's over the desert southwest, that's going to stay there until early next week. But what we're going to start to see happen is that heat will start to migrate north and westward here as we go into next weekend and into that next week. So we've got some cooler air up to our north. This trough of low pressure, what that does and what it's going to do is suppress that heat and keep it from getting as hot as it could. Now, you saw those temperatures toward the end of next week, 107 degrees or so, right? But you can imagine if this wasn't here, temperatures would certainly be a lot warmer. All right, so we take a look at the satellite image here. You can see some of the thunderstorms we did see on Friday afternoon for many of the higher elevations. That will, of course, be moving out here, and we'll be looking at probably drier conditions throughout the day on Saturday. There's what it looks like on Saturday, but you see how things are popping up here. So we're going to see a lot of those afternoon cumulus clouds developing. And again, a stray shower, a stray thunderstorm, not out of the question. But I think most of it would be in Siskiyou, Modoc, and Lassen counties. I think Trinity County most likely be dry, not to mention for places like along in the valley as well. Then we go into your Sunday. Same situation, right? We're seeing those cumulus clouds popping up, but not much in the way of thunderstorm activity. But again, can't rule it out even on Sunday as well. There's Sunday evening, things kind of drying out as well. All right, let's go and take a look at our forecast here for tonight. Now, here's what I'm doing. If you're watching this and you're not seeing the long fly through that I've been typically doing, these forecasts that I do online, the main goal with these is to give you an idea of a broad perspective. What's really happening with the weather and some of these microclimates as well, like for example when I talked about the Delta breeze and some of the things that we're expecting as we progress over time. If you don't see your town on here, you can go to weathernorcal.com, and I've got maps on there that have a lot of towns on there. And you can also go to the 24-hour channel where it's all in there as well. But this is to kind of help to preserve time, which I haven't really done here so far because I had to kind of explain it here. But we look at our Saturday highs. This is just to kind of give you a footprint of what's going to happen for tomorrow. And again, we're looking at temperatures below normal. In the valley, low to mid 90s. In the eastern mountains, mid to upper 80s on average. And of course for the coast, in the upper 50s for those daytime highs. So let's take a look at some of the 7-day forecasts region by region. Mount Shasta City, you see how temperatures actually kind of going up and down a bit. See how they're going down, then they go up, and then start to work their way upwards as well. El Turris, you're going to be looking at, see how we have the partly cloudy skies here for the mountains? Again, we could see a stray shower, maybe a light thunderstorm as well for many of the higher elevations here for Saturday and Sunday. When we look at that 7-day forecast for Redding, there you can see about 95 degrees for your Saturday. 92 on Sunday. Temperatures going back up though. 96 Monday, back up over 100 degrees by Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and 106 degrees by next Friday.